Why are you up?
Because I got some important shit going on here. What do you think?
The world-class.
All right, y'all.
Definitely. All
Thank you, fellas.
Definitely.
All right, thank you, ladies.
All right.
Thank y'all.
Savannah, you got it. I'm about to be down myself. Who else?
All
Five.
right.
Oh, damn, my bad. Yeah, I got to be out the whole studio. I'm just dropping down. Got it, short.
Bye. Okay, now that they're gone, we can be ourselves.
Say yo.
I'm about to take off. I need to take off my bra now.
I'm so done. Yeah, let me go get my wig. Go ahead, you know what I'm saying? Switch it up.
Who wants to start with their closing remarks?
I'll just keep mine. I'll keep mine short and sweet. I
don't know what that means, and I don't want you to keep going.
I think that a lot of people's inadequacies show up in this space. It's hard to hide things when the camera is in your face. You know, in real life, you don't necessarily get to see people's insecurities off top, you know, because you're not staring at them the whole time, and they'll be able to get away with things. But here in this space, people expose themselves. You can start off one way, and then eventually your true colors come out, and it shows how inadequate you really feel, and that probably translates into how you operate in real life. Because those people that are comfortable in their own skin, they're able to contribute. They're able to, take a loss or take a hit, or even check themselves, right? And be like, damn, let me check myself. And I think that there's a lot of self-reflecting that's required when you're trying to be a person that wants to affect change in people. You have to do a lot of self-reflection. And I think I feel like that piece is missing. The self-reflection aspect, the self-mastery aspect of it is getting lost, and people's inadequacies are showing up. So I think people should have a little bit more self-respect and really present what it is they're trying to change. Be that which you are trying to cause. And if you don't have it and you're learning it, then at least be able to take the hit and check yourself and apologize and grow. But when you just want to stay stuck in that space because you're working off of your insecurity and your inadequacies, the men are going to notice it. And the women, we feel it. It comes across fake and it comes across disingenuous. And so I think that people are just being exposed.
All right. I'm sorry, I got lost in a train of thought of just all that goodness I just heard.
But I want to say thank you to everybody, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the space that Savannah is cultivating here allows us to have better conversations, bigger interactions, because, at the end of the day, this type of environment, it makes you care about one another. It makes you care about what are we all experiencing outside of this environment. And sometimes you just can't help that. And I would like to see that continue to grow, because we're causing change, and we're really passionate about it.
Yeah.
And I just want to continue doing that unapologetically. So thank you, everybody. From the bottom
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming up, Lexie. I really appreciate you.
And Shushu, your performance was amazing. You were so hilarious. You were so on it with that whole thing. It was the best thing ever. You're so talented. And I think having fun moments like that would also be beneficial. Just you know, we're goofy people, we're funny people, we have great jokes and great banter. And I think bringing that to this platforms is also a nice way to just have some comic relief and not get so caught up in all the seriousness and all the judgment and all the righteousness, and just like, you know, keep it cool and have the conversation be important, but also, you know, to just be chilled about it at the same time. So Shushu, you really did that for me, and you were just so hilarious, and I hope to see more of that side of you. But I'll let you ladies close out, and I just want to say thank you, and everyone have a blessed day.
Thank you, Lexie. You too. I just wanted to touch on. Oh, you can go.
Yeah, go ahead, Savannah.
I wanted to touch on a couple things that she said, especially when I kind of flip-flop when it comes to hearing people say that YouTube is just YouTube and it's not like this outside. I find that a bit hard to accept, being that we're moving towards technology. And we never really say that same thing when it comes to people showing the good side of life. This is life. You know, people are choosing what they want, picking and choosing what they want to share, but this is our new reality. So I think it would be kind of ignorant to ignore some of the men and the women's behavior, because you can be anybody you want to be online, but you're choosing to be like this. So I think it says a lot about a person. And you can go ahead, Dallas.
No, I agree, and that's what I was going to say. The comment was made about, you know, whether or not these conversations are important, and they're overblown because a lot of the expectations and requirements are unrealistic. But this is our reality. And my thing is about this whole YouTube space and these conversations. We're supposed to be having these conversations, but in order to have a progressive conversation, in order to take something from it, you have to first come into it with an open mind and an open heart. Because while you may have all the valid points in the world, you may not have been introduced to a particular point, or you may not have experienced something in life that somebody else can bring to the table that can shine a new light. And in all honesty, that's the only reason why I even got on YouTube. I like my private life. I'm not the one that wants my face out there. I never wanted to be out there. I have friends that were pushing me to get out there. When I was joining the conversations on Mr. Palmer's channel, they were kind of pushing me to have a YouTube channel, because it's about, we need to have these real conversations. We need to have them from an honest standpoint, and we're not doing that. So even in YouTube, even though people are able to be who they want to be, you know, you got this false persona, your alter ego. My problem is, while you may be living a falsehood on YouTube, there is a younger audience that is paying attention to you. And I don't think enough people consider what YouTube actually is or what it should be. So I look at it kind of like a college course. If you go to college and you sit in front of this professor for hours on end, you're supposed to be able to take something back from that. You're supposed to be able to pick up lessons. So we're moving to this age where people don't watch TV anymore. We watch YouTube channels. We listen to influencers. Everything is based off of likes and shares and followers now. So if you have an audience and what you're spewing is not going to improve the community, it's not going to improve your environment, it's not going to better anybody that's in your audience, then what are we here for? So for me, if we're going to actually open up these panels, if we're out here having these conversations, especially when you're on platforms that discuss melanated issues specifically, how do we get to a place where we want to have these conversations, but not open the door to all suggestions, any outside say or opinions, even if you don't agree with it? We don't know how to agree to disagree. We've gotten to a place now where we believe that if you don't agree with me, then you're automatically wrong, or that somebody has to be right. Somebody doesn't have to be right. Two people can actually have a very valid point. I was on a panel one day and a guy brought up a comment that he didn't think women should be allowed to vote. And on the surface, it sounded harsh. And immediately women run into their defensive mode. But once he explained it, even though the original statement was harsh, his explanation was extremely valid. If we got back to a place of a family structure and the man cast the vote for the betterment of the household, if he's supposed to be the protector, if he's supposed to be the provider, if he is supposed to be the head of the household, that was a very valid argument. What is wrong with that if he's making a decision that is going to benefit the household? So even though we don't always agree with particular points, we need to learn how to, like World Class always says, effectively listen. And we don't listen to each other. We don't understand each other. And my whole point about getting on YouTube was to expound these conversations. Let's bring some different arguments to the table. Let's debunk these bullshit arguments that we're not doing. And me personally, I hold women accountable for all the nonsense we engage in, for all the bullshit rhetoric that we push, for this whole we're equal to men. And no, the hell you are not. You aren't designed to be equal to him, but women and men both play an equal part in maintaining society, but you do not have the role. I don't know why women have a problem with roles, because roles are no different from a workplace. A baker cannot play the role of a mechanic. A mechanic can't play the role of a doctor. So in every aspect of life, there are roles that you partake in. It doesn't mean that you're equal to that person, but your role provides something in maintaining society. So I just want everybody to learn how to come together. We got to stop fighting each other. We've got to stop being on this verge of this gender war, and we've got to start operating like a community as in one people. And we're not going to get anywhere if we don't.
That's perfect.
I just want to say one thing, Dallas D. You know what? I'm an actor, so I take on plenty roles. You know what I'm saying? I can play the baker and the mechanic and the superwoman and the maid and all that too. You know what I'm saying?
But
So
when
yeah,
you're in that baker
I can
role,
be anything I want to be.
But when you're in that baker role, the brakes on that car have nothing to do with these biscuits in the oven.
I know. I'm just being funny.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm always silly at the end. I'm always silly. But I do want to piggyback off of some of the things you were saying. Like, yeah, I do think these conversations are necessary. But also, I think that it's, even though a lot of these conversations you don't really hear outside of YouTube, it is a reflection of what's going on in people's minds, what's going on in people's worlds, and they are necessary. I think it's also, especially on this show in particular, it brings an awareness to how genuine certain people are when they come into these spaces to have these conversations. Are they really approaching the conversation to have an honest, genuine discussion, or are they coming to the conversation to be right or to prove somebody wrong? And that's not a way to have a discussion or conversation, because there's no resolve, you know, and there is no way to get understanding.
Bang,
and that's
bang, 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 bang.
So that's the key point in having these. And also, I think we need to be aware of our biases because a lot of times, like, you know, we speak to that in these spaces too. JT, and especially like our biases are one of the reasons why when women come up on these panels, sometimes men aren't able to hear and understand or decipher between the woman who is on their side and the woman who's not. And at the same time, women too, a lot of times we tend to paint all men or all women with the same paintbrush, and you can't do that because we're not all the same. So yeah, I just think we all need to be more open-minded and approach these conversations from an open mind and from an open heart, a genuine place. Thank you, Savannah, and also thank you, Noble, for inviting me to be a part of this conversation. I really appreciate it. It's been so dope. And for everybody out there watching, please subscribe to my YouTube page. I am like 7 subs away from like 200. So, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, go over there. It's Shumerria, SHUMERRA.
Make that 6 away.
I'm just 7 away from like 200. So I appreciate y'all. And yeah. Y'all have a good day.
All right. Well, I will give my final remarks and we'll get out of here. Everybody's channel is linked in the description, by the way. So I think it's really important for us to focus on addressing the individual. If you have an issue with someone's ideology, don't take it out on the rest of us. Learn how to communicate, learn how to agree to disagree, and don't chastise women for reacting how they choose to react in a hostile environment. If you can't create a safe space for women, that's not on the women. I think a lot of the times in this space, we get to see people's fight or flight kick in. And unfortunately, a lot of us tend to go on the offense instead of the defense. And I think if we could give each other a little more grace, we've all experienced things that affect our perspective, and without that grace involved in the conversation, we'll never bridge that gap. So I think that's the most important thing to take away from this. Thank you guys. I see you, Zone. Thank you so much for watching. Roxana, Tola, all of you guys, thank you for coming out. Thank you for the gentleman who joined the panel also.
Thank you. Thank you to you, Savannah, for everything, for the idea. The ideas you had coming into this live, I think it was appropriate. Thank you for everything that you've been doing on the channel, behind the scenes, helping out. You came in the door helping. Can't wait to see what you do on your channel, on this channel, and in the future. Thank you to everybody that came on the show. There's a lot of people that came out today. I was surprised, man. I just got up a couple hours ago. I usually name off the names. It was a lot of names, but particularly thank you, Shushu. Thank you, Dallas D. Thank you, Lexie. Definitely thank you, Jey Ali. This was dope. It's kind of something I wanted to get off my chest a little bit. I'm glad the situation came up organically, but we could get it done. Yeah. Anything else?
Lord knows you would have been ghetto with it.
It'd have been super ghetto. Y'all kept me from being super ghetto because y'all all,
They would be fools to resist my divine power.
His death was a necessary loss. Soon I will have a new apprentice, one far younger and more powerful.
Remember, when a king is loved as I am, much can be accomplished.
We didn't do this because we like you. We did this because we are you.
Boom, the world class.